the flesh.
Yes.
It was feeding my flesh. It was, and whatever I could do to get what I wanted, I did.
Wow.
I did. I could be whoever you wanted me to be.
Wow.
It was a chameleon spirit. I could be, because that spirit is deceptive. It is rooted in deception.
Wow. Wow.
It is rooted in deception. I was manipulative.
Talk.
I was very manipulative.
What did that look like for a woman to be manipulative?
Oh, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. And I'm going to act like I'm so in love with you. But the truth is, I don't love you, because to love somebody, you have to respect them.
Ooh.
And respect comes from trust. I can't respect something I can't trust.
Wow.
Right?
Oh,
and even though respect is given and trust is earned, they go hand in hand. They're in tandem.
Yeah.
So manipulation looks like, nah, the truth is, we're dating and I'm comfortable here, but I know I'm not going to settle here, because you're loyal to me, but I'm loyal to myself.
Oh my.
So you never felt connection, you only felt attachment. And now I understand from this whole catch and release generation that the fact that I am starving you and depriving you of emotional fulfillment and spiritual security, and I am depriving you of the desire that you have to take it to the next level, the covenant. Do you know how many people asked me to marry them? And I laughed. Like, oh, would you marry? Not ask me, like get down on a knee, but hey, so would you get married? No, I don't think so. No. And it's funny, because then when I got saved, that's all I want. Isn't it funny?
Oh my gosh.
The very thing you hate, you become.
Wow. But I never heard that. You weren't connected. You were, that wasn't connection. That was attachment.
We're not connected. It was attachment. You were attached to me. I wasn't connected to you.
Oh.
It was very self-serving. It was narcissistic.
Oh my God.
It comes from a place that I needed to be the source. I loved the fact that because I cook, I clean, I'm faithful, I'm loyal. I am a wife, but I don't know how to carry the spirit of wife. I know how to be, I'm a wife in my characteristics, but I'm not a wife in my spirit. Like I don't have the desire to submit. I know what to do, but I don't trust you enough to submit and to release that authority, which is what the man is, the head.
Y'all missed what I said at the beginning. I said the only way that this makes sense is if it ends in divorce. What she's doing, it does not make sense, because she's never been there. She can't even get herself to the altar to even pretend to be this wife that she claimed to be. She hasn't even gotten there to even say, man, I could pretend for 10 years that I'm a wife.
Been there, she still can't speak on what she couldn't do, because she
could
get married.
No, I'm explaining how. I'm explaining how.
I think
she said
the semantics of it all.
No, it's not
because
semantics.
She never said she was a wife.
No, it's not semantics. I'm explaining. Hold on, wait. It's not semantics. When somebody tells you they are a wife and can pretend to be one, that means that she said that that's all the things she said. Mind you, this woman is a pastor. So she knows what submission means and all of that, what it is to be a wife.
Pastor?
It does not make sense that you say you can submit in practice, but not do it in spirit. Because it just doesn't add up, because you're not a wife.
I'm a wife. I am a wife. Every day, every night, I'm a wife. I cannot do my wifely duties and not be a wife in spirit. It just doesn't make sense.
All right, wait. So I
don't have a spirit of wife. I am a wife.
So I understand now. And I'm gonna use my personal experience. I was the hoe. I used niggas. I manipulated them. I did whatever I wanted to get, whatever I was her. That's why I understood where she was coming from up until that point. When she's saying I have the wife in character in me, that means she can perform. She can be the wife. Mm-hmm. She will submit, she will cook, she will clean, she'll be the helpmate. You ever heard the saying, I'm here physically, but my mind is somewhere else? That is a real thing. So you can do these things on the surface, but in the spirit, if you're not in your heart and spirit that I'm a wife spiritually, you can disconnect your spirit from your physical. So she's physically, I'm doing everything, but spiritually, I'm not here. I'm not connected with you. I'm not in this marriage with you. My body is just here because I'm loyal to myself. She said this. She said, I'm loyal to you, but I'm loyal to myself first. So I will do what I have to do to get what I need to go. But mentally, spiritually, I'm not in love with you. I will tell you I am. I will make it sound nice. It will feel nice. It will look nice. Even the devil know how to make things look nice, but he ain't on our side. He our best friend when we want things to go. He make it look so sweet, so conniving, so charming. That's exactly what she's saying. But in spirit, no, we not in the same.
So why don't she have an example of her taking a nigga to the cleaners?
Why don't she have that example?
Why don't she have an example? You notice what she said. Even if y'all said that's exactly who she is, that's the exact type of woman she is, and everything that y'all said was true. She also said she turned down every single proposal attempt.
Because
Well,
she
here's her
never
problem,
wanted
Sweetie.
to be
Because
a
she's
wife.
She said she never wanted to be married, and now it's flipped, and now I want to be married.
So what she just said does not make sense. You're not a wife. You don't have wifey material. You're not a wife at heart. You're not a wife in spirit. You're not even a wife in practicality because you've never done it.
Let me
Did
say
you know
something
that
to you, Swing.
that your wife, did you feel that the woman you married was wife material before you married her?
Did I know she was wifey material?
Before you married her, did you feel that she would be a good wife before you married her? Or did you go into it like, I'm just see what happens?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was her.
Yeah, you went into it, or yeah, you knew she was
her wifely characteristics without being in the position. That's all that woman was doing. She would show any man.
She simplified it for you, Sweeney.
Yeah, she would show any man. Hold on,
Sweeney understands
any man the
no, he don't.
characteristics.
Here go better. Hold on. Here go better understanding.
Hold
on, wait, real quick. Here go a better understanding.
She's not even a chameleon.
Hold on, wait. Take Samantha Lee, because me and lead attorney went to one of the Tyrese's hearings. Take that situation. This woman did everything and convinced the whole world that she was a wife to this man, and she just flipped the switch and was gone. That's a clear example that you can perform, you can pretend, you can give off a facade that you really are, you really love it. You can even have this man's children. How do you think all of these women are able to just walk away from these marriages like this, Sweeney?
Bro, all of those are women who were wives. This woman is not a wife. Never made it to the altar.
Let me tell you one more thing. Do you realize, what if I told you that? Hold on. What if I told you that when people used to have intercourse, that was a method of marriage?
This shit.
You're saying that they have to go to the courtroom and write it on a piece of paper to solidify it. I'm telling you that
she herself would have to have done it for her to say that she's either a chameleon or an actual wife.
I'm telling you, for a woman to have this type of spirit and be able to perform,
she admitted
don't need a document signed by the state to do it. I'm telling you that women can do it without it necessarily being any paperwork involved. The performance is.
I'm telling you, that woman isn't it. I didn't say that women cannot do it. I said that woman isn't it.
So your argument is that your argument is against her
saying what she said that she was is false. She's neither of those things. That was my whole argument. She's
not a chameleon or a wife.
Man, I gotta listen. I got an uncle right now. I got an uncle.
Everything she said.
I got an uncle right now that's been with this woman for 45.
No, it's not about the other woman. It's about her.
I'm just giving you an example. I'm giving you an example. They wasn't married. I'm giving you an example of a situation she could potentially have been in. She could have been in a relationship for a long period of time performing. And I'm saying I have an uncle right now that's been with a woman for 45 years and they haven't been married. So what you're trying to say is you're trying to pull her card because she didn't go to the altar. I'm saying that
he don't believe nothing she says. Whether she was a chameleon, whether she wasn't a chameleon, whether she was a wife, whether everything she said was bullshit. That's what he said.
And I think the women on this panel can attest that in some shape or form during during a period with a man, you behaved, you operated like a wife. And you actually considered yourself a wife. You just have not been to the altar yet. You had all of the characteristics. You knew how to perform it. You were even taught how to perform it. You just didn't have, the man didn't ever propose to you. This woman all over the world is being strong along right now. I'm saying that it doesn't take for her to go to the altar to be able to perform like a wife or even make you think she's a wife or have the characteristics or traits of a wife. I'm saying there's a deception going around on the world, and you have to be able to understand it, because then you'll be able to understand why women are easy to just break up their families and walk away.
She didn't illustrate that point. She didn't illustrate that point just to make it
it's not just about the wife part. He also said she don't believe she was committed. Everything she said he don't fuck with. So it's not even just the wife. So we're gonna keep going in circles because he don't fuck with her. So I don't believe her because she can't prove
that. Let's get Trev and White and Will in that too, y'all.
Yeah. So
you been quiet. You good?
So look, she didn't illustrate that point to make it about herself. It's not about her per se. We could get hung up about her, but the reason why she explained that was to show that there is a specific type of woman that's an archetype that really knows how to behave like that. And when Darwin brought up the point of Samantha Lee, that's pretty much what the gist of it is to inform people of this type of woman with this Jezebel spirit that you need to look out for. It wasn't for her to just say, oh yeah, this is what I used to be. It's about this type of woman actually exists, and you probably should run away from there.
Yeah, my whole point was that she can't say that she's any of those things until she actually does it in practice, which is why I led with, unless it ends in divorce. I already know that women like that exist, but for her to say that but those women still would not be wives. They would be wives in the literal sense, but she hasn't even crossed the threshold to even be what she said that she can be. I don't believe that you're
still getting hung up on her
because
What if you ran into a woman that's at Walmart tomorrow, and she's on her third year of performing, just like the woman said in the video? Are you gonna knock it because she haven't got divorced yet?
What if they make it to the end? What if they both last 30 years?
What the woman in the video is saying that it can if they wanted to. They said
you know what I would say to that.
They're saying a woman has.
Wait, what if he died? What if she performed up until his death?
And you know what I would say to that? You know what I would say to that? If he dies or they last 30 years and she managed to pretend to be the perfect Stepford wife for this nigga for 30 years, because also part of being a wife is not going behind his back and going to your homegirls and telling him how ain't shit he is. So all of that is encompassed in being a wife. So if she could be a chameleon for 30 years or until you die, count that as a win, bro.
Hell no.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get Will in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Will. We talked about the video.
I only got one thing to say about that video, and it ain't even about the video. It's about this panel. It's amazing how all of y'all heard something different. See, we have a fundamental problem in our society. We feel how we feel, and we try to push an agenda based on how we feel. I try to look at what people do and what the results are based on what they do and formulate my belief system. I mean, not my belief system, but the structure and the order off of what works, not what I feel should work. My stuff is in theory. It's practical. You can put it in action and apply it and it'll work. But that's all I got to say. I'm entertained by listening to y'all all push the narrative.
Let me ask you this, Hold on, y'all. Let me get White in there, then we'll go back to Darwin to ask Will a question.
All right, so Langston Hughes had this poem called To Our Tina. He said, I will take your heart, I will take your soul out of your body as though I were God. I will not be satisfied with the little words you say to me. I won't be satisfied with the touch of your hand or the sweet of your lips alone. I'll take your heart for mine. I will take your soul. I will be God when it comes to you. When I was listening to her speak, the only thing I could think about was emotional intimacy. I think that's the only way you can actually trick a man if there exists no actual emotional intimacy within a relationship, because you can emulate respect, but true respect is something you could feel, and it's not even it's to Darwin's point, it's a spirit that she carries when she actually respects you. And when men talk about the women not wanting to have sex or removing sex, those are signs that there's no intimacy within that relationship. And it's not just sexual, it's a connection that happens at a deeper level. And that connection she can't emulate, and it will feel off to the man, and he would have to be ignoring that as a red flag to move forward within that relationship. Assuming the stuff she was saying was real. I don't believe it either. I won't swing. But assuming the stuff that she was saying was real, by connecting with somebody, you can tell when the vibe, when the energy is just not right. And that woman energy would have been completely off. And if you are paying attention, and if you actually connecting with this woman you claim to be your wife, or you talking about spending the rest of your life with, it's unmistakable. You can't fake real true submission. It's not just an act. It's not just cooking, cleaning, and giving you sex. It's so much more that goes into that. I think when I be talking about the relationship, sometimes it seems like, oh, you think everything with women is you got to have this relationship, and these women are like this and like that. Granted, there are women like this and like that, but if you actually connect with the woman that you're dealing with, a lot of these things get removed off the table, and the woman is willing to sacrifice any and everything to make sure she maintains that, because she'll pour back into you what she got from you if you emotionally connect with her. So it sheds some light on just what she was describing as operating as a wife versus what it actually means to be in a loving, fulfilling relationship. You can't fake that. Like, you have to ignore it. Ignore the flag. Some telling you this ain't right. Some telling you like she'll turn on me. Some telling you I feel it, but it's just something off. It's hard to pinpoint because it is spiritual. It is a intangible that I'm talking about. But if you're experiencing it, you will know the difference between the two of those things. And I just think just checking off characteristics on a sheet of paper, it gets you in that situation. When we was talking earlier about what's the difference between a woman actually loving you versus just wanting you financially, I think that's the difference to tie it all in. That's what it looks like when she just wants you for whatever you can provide financially, as opposed to you actually connecting with her and y'all building something that's deeper than just a physical connection. So yeah, that was my
So Marcus, you believe that these people are deliberately ignoring these supposed red flags, or do you think that they lack the ability to discern them in the first place? What experience would they have had to even understand what that looks like?
If you never had it, you probably wouldn't be able to understand it. So I can see that point.
I would argue I would argue that there's a reason why that what Marcus just said is the reason why she never made it to the altar.